There's a reason seasoned riders almost never get pulled over, and it's not just luck. Motorcycle cops have patterns, habits, and blind spots, and some riders know exactly how to exploit them. These aren't illegal hacks. They're smart, subtle tricks that keep you under the radar while staying fully in control. You won't find this stuff in the handbook, and you definitely won't hear it from law enforcement. We're breaking down 7 tricks motorcycle cops don't want you to know and why they actually work. How to spot police bikes before they spot you. Before a motorcycle cop ever flips on the lights, there's usually a moment where a seasoned rider can spot them first. And if you do, you're in control. In 2025, unmarked police motorcycles are more common than ever, especially in urban areas and high-speed corridors. They're designed to blend in, no flashy lights, no bulky racks, but they're never completely invisible. You just need to know what to look for. Start with the mirrors. Police bikes often run taller, square-shaped side mirrors for better rear visibility. Their antennas are another giveaway, either tucked under the tail section or running vertically from behind the seat. Look for extra wiring, especially around the dash or under the seat, and watch for GoPro-style cameras or small radar modules mounted up front. Another giveaway? The rider. Cops usually wear solid-color armored gear. Think high-vis vests, utility-style boots, and no brand patches or flashy decals. You'll also spot them riding differently. Cops often hang in the left lane slightly behind traffic, not speeding, not weaving, just lurking. Their body posture is more upright and rigid, and they'll rarely ride in groups or with earphones. They're focused, observing, waiting for someone to slip up. If you can train your eye to notice these patterns, you'll spot the cop before they ever notice you. And that can be the difference between a smooth ride and flashing red lights. The one-lane position that keeps you invisible. Riding in the wrong lane position can make you an easy target. Riding in the right one? It can make you nearly invisible, not just to distracted drivers, but to cops looking to pull someone over. Most riders are taught about the 3 standard lane positions: left third, center, and right third. But here's the trick. When you're riding in light to moderate traffic, staying in the rear quarter of the left third, just behind the driver's side mirror of the vehicle ahead of you, can be a game changer. It keeps your silhouette blended with the car and makes you harder to spot from overpasses or side patrols, and limits how visible you are to officers scanning from highway medians. If a cop is using radar or pacing traffic from behind, your position just off the rear corner of another vehicle can shield your movement and make it harder to pick you out for a stop. From the front, you're shadowed. From the side, you're framed by the vehicle next to you. From behind, you're not the most exposed object on the road. And when you ride like that consistently, you don't just go unnoticed, you ride strategically. Police aren't looking for invisible riders, they're looking for obvious ones, fast, loud, centered, and alone. Blending into traffic isn't just about safety, it's a trick that keeps you off the radar in every sense of the word. Why engine braking helps you dodge tickets. Most riders focus on how fast they can accelerate, but when it comes to avoiding tickets, how you slow down can be even more important, especially when there's a cop nearby. Here's the trick: engine braking. The natural deceleration that happens when you roll off the throttle is a quiet, controlled way to scrub speed without flashing your brake light. That matters more than most new riders realize, because the second you hit your brakes, that red light shoots up like a signal flare, and if there's a patrol car behind you or a radar trap up ahead, you've just announced you were riding fast enough to need to slow down. In 2025, many patrol units still rely on pacing instead of just radar, meaning they follow at a distance, watching how vehicles behave. And a sudden tap of the brakes can draw attention even if you weren't speeding anymore. Engine braking, on the other hand, lets you reduce speed smoothly and stay under the radar, literally and figuratively. It's not about hiding your speed, it's about not advertising it. Experienced riders learn to downshift early and coast when they see an upcoming patrol zone, hill, or bridge overpass where radar might be lurking. It's one of the quietest tools in your toolkit, and most motorcycle cops know exactly why the best riders use it. How riders time traffic lights using sensor loops. Ever notice how some riders seem to roll up to a red light and it turns green almost instantly? That's not magic. That's a trick involving something buried right under your wheels. Most intersections in the US use inductive loop sensors, those faint rectangular cuts in the pavement near stop lines, to detect vehicles and trigger light changes. But motorcycles are smaller and lighter than cars, which means they're often not detected unless you know exactly where to stop. Here's the trick. Line up your bike right over the edge of the sensor loop, not in the middle. The loop is shaped like a rectangle or a figure eight, and the most sensitive part is the outer edge where the wires are closest to the surface. By stopping your front wheel or side stand directly over that edge, you increase the magnetic disturbance and your chances of being picked up by the system. In some states like California or Texas, riders even have legal backing to proceed through a red light if the sensors fail to detect their bike after a full cycle. But if you know how to trigger the sensor in the first place, you never have to take that risk. It's one of those subtle tricks that veteran riders learn fast, and that keeps you flowing through city traffic while others sit and wait, wondering why nothing's changing. Legal loopholes. There are more rights on your side than most riders realize, and sometimes even the cops hope you don't know them. Take this for example. In several US states, motorcyclists are allowed to run a red light if the signal fails to change after a reasonable time. It's called a dead red law, and it exists in places like Illinois, Idaho, Missouri, and Tennessee. The idea is simple. Because motorcycles aren't always detected by traffic sensors, the law gives you the right to treat it like a stop sign and move through once it's safe. But here's the catch. Most riders don't know about it, and most cops won't tell you unless you ask. Then there's lane filtering, legal in California and under review in multiple states like Arizona, Utah, and Montana. If you know the specifics, you can legally move through slow or stopped traffic without breaking the law, but only if you understand the exact conditions. Some states also have helmet law exemptions, handlebar height rules, or parking privileges for motorcycles that differ from cars. Knowing these legal gray areas isn't about being a rebel. It's about being informed. Cops will often assume riders don't know their rights, and if you get pulled over, being able to quote the law calmly and accurately can be the difference between a warning and a fine. It's not loopholes, it's the law, and it's up to you to know how to use it. The trick to avoiding random plate scans. In 2025, it's not just cops watching the roads. It's automated systems doing the heavy lifting. And if you ride, there's a good chance your plate has been scanned without you even realizing it. Many departments now use automatic license plate readers mounted on patrol cars, traffic poles, or even bridges. These devices can scan hundreds of plates per minute, automatically flagging expired registrations, stolen vehicles, or riders with outstanding tickets. And unlike a cop, they don't blink or miss. But here's the trick. Most ALPRs are mounted at car height and angled slightly downward. That means motorcycles, with their smaller plates and lower profiles, often fall below the ideal scan angle, especially when you position your bike in the right way. Parking at a slight angle instead of head-on, stopping behind a taller vehicle in traffic, or even riding in the shadow of a larger vehicle can help reduce your plate's visibility to passive scanners. Some riders even avoid certain gas stations and parking garages where fixed ALPR systems are installed to track traffic flow and vehicle movement, often in partnership with law enforcement or city data programs. The goal here isn't to hide something illegal. It's about limiting how much of your movement is being tracked, logged, and stored just because you ride a motorcycle. Knowing where the cameras are and how they're pointed gives you a tactical advantage most people never even think about. How experienced riders blend into traffic like ghosts. The most effective trick of all isn't flashy. It's invisible. Ask any veteran rider who's never been pulled over, and they'll tell you the same thing. The real skill is learning how not to be noticed. Motorcycle cops aren't looking for riders who blend in. They're looking for standouts. The loud pipes, the reckless weavers, the high-vis squid on a bright sport bike doing 90 in a 55. Experienced riders know how to blend. They wear neutral gear, dark colors, low-profile helmets, no reflective tape unless it's legally required. They ride smooth, not flashy. No unnecessary revving, no sharp throttle hits, no sudden lane changes. Their bikes are often quiet, well-maintained and clean, but without flashy mods that draw attention. They know how to sit in traffic without becoming the focal point. They hover behind vehicles instead of speeding ahead. They stay away from the fast lane when cops are known to linger and never ride solo on open stretches where radar has a clean shot. It's not fear, it's strategy. Being visible is important for safety, but being forgettable in traffic? That's how you avoid being targeted. The best riders don't run from attention. They ride like ghosts. And that's the trick most motorcycle cops don't talk about. Now you know the truth. There are tricks out there that most riders don't talk about, and that some motorcycle cops definitely hope you never figure out. These aren't hacks to break the law. They're strategies to ride smarter, safer, and just under the radar. Because the more you understand how the system works, the less it can work against you. If you learned something new or feel like this gave you an edge, hit that like button, subscribe for more rider intel, and drop a comment with your own go-to trick on the road. Stay sharp, ride smart, and remember, the best riders never get noticed.